السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري ويشرك في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. آمين آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome. Inshallah, we have completed studying in detail the section Fatiha, the first section of the Qur'an, and it took sometimes, I think, I don't know, more than a month, and then now we are going back to the ethical lessons from the Qur'an series, and I wanted to make a surprise. I didn't let you know what we are going to study. Inshallah, my intention is in studying the Quran, our aim is just very simple. Read the Quran without going into grammatical details, but knowing what the grammatical details of the words refer to. But we are not going to discuss about them. Then we are not going to study Arabic here. We are going to study the message of the Quran in order to benefit from it, to apply our practical life, and especially from belief side. So I may I prefer some things, but most of some notes in blueprints. And these notes may have some questions, but these questions are somehow to draw your attention to the important points of the message that we have to get it in order to put it into our practical life. That's why I put it in the question forms. And when you read it, you start thinking about it. What is my answer to it? But it doesn't mean that really it is a question that you have to answer. No, just we are talking about it in a friendly way. Practically speaking, to benefit from the Quran rather than to lose ourselves in the knowledge of the Quran. But practical side, how am I going to benefit from this verse? Because not all of us, definitely, but most of us don't know Arabic, and let alone even we were born in an Arabic-speaking, native-speaking country. Still, it is completely different from Quranic Arabic. So I don't know whether it is an advantageous to have an Arabic language as your mother's tongue, because you may think that I understand Arabic. So I understand the Quran. But most of the time, it may be disadvantageous because it doesn't really let you know that you need really to learn how the Quran speaks. It is Quranic Arabic is really different from daily language Arabic. Maybe it has nothing to do with it, to my understanding. But we have to understand at the same time that Quran is revealed in Arabic language, that there is a great opportunities to utilize the structure of the Arabic language, but at the same time, the concepts are important. Quranic concepts are important, not the words are. Because every word has different meaning within the context of the Quran. Like, for example, every science, every discipline has its own vocabulary. If you are studying law, for example, in order to understand the law book, you have to know the terminology is used, employed in law discipline. So if you want to learn it, you have to have a special dictionary, law dictionary, so biology dictionary, physics, mechanics dictionary. So we have to be careful while we are reading the Quran. Quranic words are, although in Arabic, but they have special meaning, either term meaning, concept meaning. Within the context of the Quran, we have to learn it. That is why learning the practical Arabic, going to Cairo and speaking Arabic doesn't help you to understand the Quran. You may learn it, but doesn't help you. That's what we have to know that. Quran has developed its own meaning. It attaches to each vocabulary used there. But of course, some common words are used in daily language. But what makes the Quran is it is vocabulary, special concepts. That's what we have to know first. That is why we see different translations depending on this meaning, this meaning, this meaning. It's possible in Arabic. So all of them are right. Because every meaning that you read from different translations gives you the idea, different perspective of the meaning of the same concept. So it is interesting. Anyway, we have to know all this. After this long introduction, maybe boring, now we are going to study some verses from the section which is called in Arabic al-layl, which means night. Now, I'm not intending to study the section, but what mostly very interesting parts there, we are going to study, inshallah, together. Now, the first verse I have chosen from the same section, verse 4. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna sa'yakum lashatta. Now, the meaning says, surely, O human beings, of course, speaking to human beings, as understandable, you aim at most divergent ends. Sa'i means, it is translated here. I'm not blaming the translator because the language barrier. What you are striving for, sa'i. The original meaning, we understand sa'i. If anybody has been to Kaaba, I don't know, if anybody has been, yeah. But did you make sa'i between Safa and Marwa hills? Yeah, that's it. Why do you run there? They not run, but walk fast. Why do you do?
While she was looking for water.
Yeah. So you are in dire need. Yeah. Your baby is going to die. There is no water. There is no food. You are in dire need and you are helpless. Can you imagine a woman with a newly born baby? Her father or husband or the father of the baby left. Not because negligence. No, because the story is presented to us in order to get lesson from it. So hurrying, looking for a solution. That is what sa'i is. وَإِنَّ سَعْيَكُمْ لَشَتَّى. Your strive, but you have to feel the need. If you don't feel the need, you run for nothing. So you have to feel the need. What are you needing in order to satisfy yourself? How can you find it? So you have to hurry to look for the solution. Now, human beings are running this way, this way, this way, not necessarily physical running. No, aiming at something to obtain it, to get it. What is that most we want was satisfaction. Yeah, to have a prosperous life, happy life, satisfaction. But this is worldly side of it. How about our satisfaction of our spirit, our feelings? They need eternity. How are we really, really running or striving to find the water now to feed the baby, which is waiting for eternal satisfaction, spiritual satisfaction? Are we running? Oh, we have to run. To get it, to get it, to get it. How can I find it? How can I find it? That is what the word is. But the Quran says here, you are striving in different divergent purposes, ends. But everybody is running, especially in Manhattan, New York, you see, rush hour. Everybody is trying to get something. We have to ask the question, what am I doing then? I don't know what the others are doing, but I'm going out and to work. Why do we do that? So the Quran says everybody has a divergent purpose to satisfy, to get satisfaction. Now, so uh, this verse says everyone goes their own way in life, right? Does that mean we should respect people even if they are totally different from us? Respect people, okay, different. Now, I'm running this way, somebody is running this way. You think that we will succeed, you will satisfy your needs running this way or aiming at this purpose? Somebody is aiming at another purpose. Somebody is really running to make money in order to have a very nice cloth. So you say, I mean, cloth is a temporary thing, isn't it? Is it worth to run after it? Let's think about it. No, not for me, for example. Say then it's not for me. I should run to find a solution or way of satisfaction to satisfy my spiritual needs. But this person is running for, I don't know, to get a nice food. Not physically running, we understood. Aiming at, it means striving for to get this result. So what are we going to do for ourselves or for other people? The first point is, if they are doing something wrong, what are we supposed to do? According to you, of course, they should run for this aim to satisfy this purpose, but they are not. They are running after something else. What are we supposed to do? Any answer? Take care of yourself or not do nothing else? Okay, let's go to the second question. If everyone is unique, the second point is everyone is unique. Does it make sense to share our conviction with others? Because God says everybody runs to different purposes to satisfy or to reach different purposes, to fulfill something that you want to have it. So do you think that we should share our conviction with others, or should we keep to ourselves? That's my way. Whatever the people do, I don't care. because the Quran also says everybody runs after different, completely divergent. Yeah, we love in America, especially we love the diverse society, don't we? So, yeah, you are a Jew, okay. You are a Buddhist, oh, all right. I'm an atheist. Good for you. For example, are we going to do this or what? Okay. Third question. Everyone has their own way in life. Why were the prophets were sent and they were trying to change other people's perception of life and way of life? Since everybody is free to choose, diverse society is the best society, okay, respectful for others. Why do you think God keeps sending prophets and really warning them and encouraging the prophet, warn them, warn them? And there will be a really very, very, very unbearable end if you don't follow my message. And they say no, they reject, there is a clash, mostly conflict. They don't say, okay, welcome. You say what you say. There is we love diverse society. Let the prophet say something. No, somebody says that I am a prophet. Let him speak. None of my business. No, they reject. Why? And why does God keep sending messengers? Now, another one. Or does this verse mean we shouldn't expect anyone to be exactly like us? We got almost the same question around same side. The last one is, let's finish the questions and talk about it. Do you hope to find a friend who is basically your twin? Mm-hmm. Is that even possible? So there is another extreme now. Okay, let everybody be free, but I'm going to get married and I want my twin now. Exactly like, so if I have a friend, he must be exactly like me. Or that he said also, you must be exactly like me. So there is a clash, especially family problems rise from there. So what do you think? Any idea how are we going to deal with our life? Is there any balanced way of dealing with this problem? Of course, we have to take care of ourselves before everything else. Correct? We have to know, what am I doing now? What am I after? Yeah, what am I going to get? And which kind of satisfaction I am looking for. So anything to do with my bodily and worldly satisfaction, we know that this is not really satisfaction, temporary, isn't it? Temporary satisfaction. So permanent satisfaction must be my aim. Okay, how about other people? Are we not going to take care of them? Shall we not try something to do something at the same time? So why the prophets struggled? They wanted to stop him. You struggled. What's wrong with you? Let the people be as they want. What is the nature of this? An answer? No. Now, yes.
What comes to my mind is that every human being is striving for something.
Correct.
And,
Yeah, that's what I do. Everybody does, yeah.
and that's thing. In its essence, I would claim the same thing, but the way that it manifests itself is different. So what I mean by this is we all want at least as far as I'm concerned, eternal satisfaction. I want security for my existence. I want security for my being. I want to be happy. And I want this to be an unending sort of a way. But I might think that X route might be the best route for me. So I might be going this way. Somebody else might be going another way. If I find that my path works, or maybe it doesn't work, then, and if I find somebody else striving for the same thing, I'll say, hey, don't go here, it doesn't work. Or I will say, come here, I benefited from this path, so we can both walk it down together. So I think I can't, just as I wouldn't want somebody else to force me, I can't force somebody else either. But I think there is a responsibility to offer the invitation if they're aware of the fact that they are in a sort of striving.
So this age is a really very strange age. Not only the 21st century, I am coming from 20th century. So 20th century was the same, but it is nowadays it is becoming really, really very individualistic, very person-oriented civilization. Take care of yourself, make yourself perfect, your self-satisfaction, self-confidence. Oh man, the flap of the century. Self-confidence is really a must. Everybody has. So you don't need anyone. So you shouldn't be in need of it. This is what this society is. That's why we are becoming as a civilization more and more away from abstract notions, abstract teachings, away from abstract teachings. So in this society, if I give abstract examples, it looks like irrelevant, but we have to give concrete examples. You know that somebody is really in need of something that you have, then you can satisfy it. And let me give it a little bit more extra example. So my typical example is you are living comfortably in your house, and in the backyard there is a small kitten, baby cat, and this baby cat is really making a noise. You know that it needs food, or it is in a trouble. Would you like to help him? Help. So, but he's hungry. Would you like to give him food? Give him. This is very human, isn't it? Very human. So when it comes to hunger for spiritual need, we don't care. For material need, we hurry. We organize all charitable activities. Every day I receive another email from different charitable activities that these people did there. They are so in trouble. What do they ask me to do? No, when you receive an email from a charitable organization, what do they ask you to do? Donation. Donation what? Money. Money helps what?
Everything.
Bodily life. Who's caring spiritual life, spiritual needs? Do you think people are very satisfied about their spiritual needs? They are comfortable? Why do you think the psychology departments are really flourishing in the universities? Why? Every university wants psychology. I'm not pointing out you. Psychology students, whoever they are you interested in studies? Come, I'll give you even scholarship. Why? great need. It's the growing demand. Do you think we are improving or going down?
Yeah.
More prosperous in material life, less satisfactory and falling into trouble in spiritual life. Psychological problems increasing.
I was going to say something about why people reject prophets, though, because prophets come to answer this question, not the bodily need, but your spiritual need, your sense of meaning, your understanding of the universe, a connection with the creator. I've noticed that people are usually very resistant to these things, in my experience, because it requires that they have to reflect and change. And I think that's the thing that people don't like, is they want something, even if it's not good for them, it's familiar and they're used to it, versus now I have to look at my insecurities, or I have to look at my bad qualities. I have to look at what's inside of me that's holding me back from connecting to my spiritual needs, because we have barriers that we have to work through, and that can be very painful and very scary to deal with, I've noticed. And so we'd rather kill the thing telling us to change than actually do the work to change, even if doing that is harder and takes more energy. At least I don't have to do something scary or unfamiliar.
This is how human psychology
Yes.
works.
Yeah.
You are traveling you are a doctor, sitting in your seat in the, let's say, subway, train, and somebody is really fainting or about to faint, and you know the solution.
Mm.
You are a doctor. Can you just sit there and ignore it? Impossible, isn't it? You say, if you have the immediate medicine, for example, take this one, let's say heart problem, this tablet, they call it under tongue, put the tablet. So take this one. You want this. This is human, isn't it? Why, when it comes to our spiritual needs, why do you keep away? Why don't you bother? There is something is wrong in this civilization. Focusing point is really diverged, if you like, straight away. Only matter. We are becoming materially, bodily more prosperous, spiritually weaker and weaker and weaker. Now, we have to have some sort of concerns. Ayah says, Ayah, Salaam alaikum. Now, your spirit is here, Ayah. I think there is a historical reason to why. Evet, spirituality was used as a way of controlling the people. Yeah, alaikum salam. That is correct. That is correct. Human weaknesses have been exploited historically. So we know that. Let's deal with this one serious question. And people, communities in the West reacted any kind of religious approach, because religion was institutionalized and plus monopolized by clergy, and it became a kind of authority of a certain class of people. And they rejected. Okay, but at the same time, human nature never changes. For example, if we know that some medicine is really helping me, and this is a disease common in the society, I mean, you cannot stop yourself to share it. That's why the prophets cannot stop. Because he knows this is the medicine and people need it. If someone opposes, not necessarily ideologically disagree with it, it is okay. You can disagree with the prophet, but you shouldn't oppose him and try to prevent him from spreading the medicine, if you like. But you may say that, no, thank you, I don't want it. All right, it is free. That's what the Quran teaches us. But why do you prevent the person who is distributing the medicine? Why do you prevent it? Those people who feel the need, they will get it. If you don't feel the need, they won't get it. That's why the prophets keep saying that I'm not asking for any benefit. I am not asking for any wage for my delivery of the message. No, I'm not asking. Just I am asking you to be free. That's it. Let me be free, so that I will distribute it, distribute the message. That is why we have to understand that if I know that how this message saved my life, appreciate it, really. For example, let's speak in black and white terms now. When I didn't bear in mind that I am a created being, I have a creator. The universe has a creator, a conscious creator, and he takes care of everything, the needs of every being. So we know that he takes care of the human needs. And when you look at yourself, when you start thinking of your own need, you say, I am secure now in my existence. I am secure in my life. I feel comfortable. Why? Because I know I have an owner who is so merciful, who really takes care of all my needs, because he is the creator of my needs. And he promises as well, by satisfying every being. Only human beings are not satisfied, not in worldly life or bodily life. Only human beings are not satisfied within the huge universe as far as their spiritual needs are concerned. We are the only ones who are not really receiving any full satisfaction in this world. That's what we are missing. We have to be aware of this. And if I acknowledge the creator, if I know that this creator is going to take care of me, if I am absolutely sure that this creator is not going to leave me alone in this world. Get it? If I really know. And also, the universe is really a meaningful creation. Every being in the universe is really speaking to me, introducing its creator, the qualities of its creator in its existence, declaring it, screaming it out, if you like. Screaming that my creator is so powerful, so knowledgeable, so wise, and look how he decorated me. There is nothing in the world without any decoration. Every being is beautifully designed, perfectly created. So, feeling secure. If you think that due to this message, your spiritual world is fully satisfied, appreciate the value of the message. I will tell you, you cannot stop spreading it. You cannot stop sharing it with those people who are needy. Of course, most of the people are needy. So that is why the Quran is going to change the subject a little bit. look at yourself. Do you really feel satisfied with this message? How are we going to do it? First of all, you have to learn that this message is essential for you. It satisfies your essential needs for you. Then you cannot stop yourself. How can I share this beautiful, if you like, spiritual food for those, with those people who are hungry of it? You cannot stop yourself. So let's see the following verse. Now, we will remember one thing that we discussed at the beginning. Quran has its own concepts. We shouldn't just read the Quran and say that, this word is given to ata, to give. Yeah. We call it give to charitable things. Of course, nowadays, charity is reduced to what? Money. We don't understand the Quranic concept of charity is spiritual food. Have you ever thought of it? No, no. The Quran says needy, miskin. We think that miskin is materially needy people. According to the Quran, is miskin is, somebody may be materially needy. Yeah, that is temporary, but you can take care of it. But Quran doesn't really aim at it only. It is just a means. It is just a means, temporary solution. It's temporary solution. Human beings need permanent solution, which means which will satisfy you as far as your expectations, full, perfect, eternal satisfaction. That's what we are going to read it now. فَمَّا مَنْ أَعْطَى وَاتَّقَى. And let me read all of it. Three verses here. Very short verses. One reminder. The verses of the Quran, the shorter, the larger the meaning. Really, read it. The longer, narrow is the meaning. The longest verse of the Quran is the very famous verse, the verse of Dain, the ayat of Dain, in Arabic, or in English. How do you say? Being in, let's say business acts, right? Dain means something you owe to somebody. And what are you going to do with this? Physically, when you read this verse, one page, one verse. Really, it is just a simple matter. As compared to other verses, for example, this verse, the shortest verse, one of the shortest ones. فَمَّا مَنْ أَعْطَى وَاتَّقَى وَصَدَّقَ بِالْحُسْنَى. The sequence, we are going to pay attention to sequences of the verses. Now, فَسَنُيَسِّرُهُ لِلْيُسْرَى. Let me read all the translation of all of it. There is the one who is charitable. Of course, when you read the translation charitable, the first thing comes to your mind, gives money or clothes, but still physical. And who is taqwa, mindful of God, consciousness of God, different. But different word, we have to get it within the context of the Quran. Taqiyya means really, if you are walking or driving in a very congested traffic, you are very careful not to not to touch this, not to hit this. You are making taqwa, not to get engaged into accident. It means doing something wrong, taking a wrong path. That is taqwa. Going against your nature is taqwa. I shouldn't really contradict my own reality, my own nature is taqwa. I shouldn't really interpret or understand, perceive the reality, my own reality of life is taqwa. So I shouldn't really diverse my direction from the way that I am created originally. So I shouldn't really spoil my origin. That is taqwa. But we reduce taqwa to physical things. This is ridiculous. That's something else. This fiqh-related Quran understanding is ridiculous, really. Now, there is the one who is charitable. We understand charitable for what? Helps other people to satisfy their spiritual need. Because Quran is not going to arrange your physical life here. But very general things, very general the arrangements where human beings cannot really solve, for example, inheritance problems. Now, this buying and selling problems. But these are very minor things. I mean, most fiqh-minded, juridical-minded scholars say the biggest number, 8% of the Quran is about this, arranging the worldly life. But no, it is not really. Even these verses have in them some spiritual belief matters included. They say 3% of the Quran is about this matter. 97% of it, I always use the average part. 5% of the Quran is juridical matters. It means your worldly life. 95% of the Quran is about your spiritual life, moral life. So what are we going to do? We have to look for the meaning of the verses. 90% of it related to your spiritual matters. Charitable, for example. When you want to do any charitable activity, 90%, 95% of charitable activity must be for spiritual guidance. 5% of your charitable activity must be related to bodily comfort for needy people. But that 5% of your charitable activities. Now put yourself in the balance now. Where are you? I am ashamed of myself. Yeah? Oh,
I was gonna say, I think in the modern world, we have that ratio flipped,
yes.
like completely the opposite.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think you want to ask a question too.
Yeah. If this passed, that's all right.
No,
Think about it seriously and then ask. No, you wanted to say something?
Was thinking that sometimes there's a lot of us that don't want to commit. Like I know somebody like that asked me one time. No, that told me one time, oh, your religion is so difficult. You have to follow a lot of things, but there's a rule in everything in life, right? So you have to follow the rules. So why you don't follow the rule of God? You see what I mean?
Mhm.
So they seem difficult my religion because the way we live, the way we praise God, or the way we have to behave, or the way we have to be educated and have knowledge of the religion and behave certain way. But there's rules in the life too. So you have to follow those rules. Why you don't follow the rule of God? You see what I mean? So this is my like a kind of thing that I explain the person. What is the difficult about it? Because you praising your Lord, So you follow rules in the word, but you don't praise it. You don't want to praise your Lord. You see what I mean?
Mhm. But people don't take notice of the Lord. Don't take notice of God. They take care, they notice of their own physical life. They don't really think. They don't have bad intention, but they don't know. Even the Muslim activists are engaging themselves in physical activities. not spiritual, really much, very less, very little. So we have to understand that there is the one who is charitable in means really strives to help people's essential needs. That's one thing. Who is mindful of God and he knows himself that that is every human being is given the sense, consciousness, senses, all of these human qualities. These are trusts given to us by our Creator. We call it in Arabic, you know that maybe most of us heard of it, ruh. Now, this ruh is a trust, emane in Arabic, trust from our Creator. Come on, I gave you this and do what it necessitates. So that is a trust for us. Now, what am I going to do with this trust? Am I really very careful not to waste it, not to misuse it? That is taqwa.
No, now I remember what I was going to say to you. So you asked the question, it's like, why do some people not acknowledge, I guess, the spirit, or maybe I mean, I've met people where someone say it's like, they kind of have this idea where it's like this concept of spirituality and whatever is just, it's a myth. So in the West, some people think that this idea of spirituality is not a real thing. And then there's people who also say that, I believe like I'll take care of it later on. So let me make sure I make money now.
So let's stop speaking about other people. What do you think yourself for yourself? What have you been doing?
Me personally,
No, I'm not questioning you. Speak about our personal responsibilities. What the people are doing, that's their way. We have to take care of ourselves. That's why the people are doing this. The people doesn't help. What am I supposed to do? That's my question. So let's focus on this personal responsibility, inshallah. So mindful of God means, taqwa means you are giving the most precious trust. Have we ever, any one of us, everybody will think about themselves. How precious my spirit is, my human qualities. Every quality looks for eternal satisfaction, perfect satisfaction. We call it every spirit is really dying for paradise or paradisical life. Every spirit. So this is so precious. How much I am going to pay attention to this need? That is what you should remind each other about. How are you feeling? And you say, yes, I am fine. Fine about why? What? Health. What? You are fine. You are fine. At the end, you are going to die as a fine person. What are you going to do with this body? At the end, you will lose it anyways. But it doesn't mean that 5% we have to take care of it. 95% take care of my spiritual needs. That's what the proportion the Quran is teaching us. So taqwa means what taqa. It means really they are being or they are really taking care of their real duty, to be taqwa person. Now, mindful of God, yeah.
I think in the culture we live in, and I don't know if this is a global thing, but I'm in New York City, so I can talk about that. I think it can be very difficult to have those conversations. So I ask you, how are you? And you tell me, well, my body's fine, or I ate well, or work is good. But the spiritual thing here, they would call a psychological issue, right? Like, I don't feel good about my existence is a hard answer to give to someone. there's not a lot of room for those kinds of conversations, and I think it can be very difficult for people to have them with each other. And so, is that one of those things where you have to maybe lead by example and give people opportunities to do that?
Lots of things, yeah, lots of things are upside down since the age of Enlightenment and the 15th century forward. Everything is upside down. And of course, religion is exploited. We admit that. And also in the Muslim world, also religion is exploited by kings, sultans, really controlled. Religion was under the Sultan control, really, for centuries again. So religion is really exploited mostly for political purposes. Still now, and if a person is just rallying for presidency, they don't say that Christianity is trash, but in their personal life, they don't believe in it at all. So you understand the politicians, because still it is used. Still, but for example, by the way, last Monday, I was with my mentor in church, something. Do you understand why? Would you like to say something? But it is far, I can't hear. Help me. So please, you speak, then somebody will summarize it.
Sometimes they will encourage you to like just lead with your character, let your character speak for Islam. But I kind of have like a problem with that because I feel like that's not enough. Like they could see anyone who they feel like is a good person. They're like, okay, that person's just a good person. I feel like we need to somehow find the language and find a way of speaking about Islam like very clearly instead of just like, practicing the sunnah and hope they catch on. But I feel like that's something we're lacking. It's hard to find your way in, especially when the world kind of perceives you as strange. I think that's something we work on for ourselves. But when other people initiate, it kind of helps.
As far as I could follow you, it became really very, very limited. Religion and spirituality has been alienated and reduced to psychology. Psychology is based on more and more biological effects, results of biological problems, problems of mind, problems of memory, then the previous experiences, not because your spiritual need is not satisfied. Not all of them, of course, some of them is really biological reason, we admit that. But there is a good point here. I would like to share it, what our friend shared with us through Zoom. I think we lost the language for spirituality as a way of staying away from oppression. Yeah, originally. And it is continuing. Unfortunately, there was no revival at this, but it was, yes, for at least for 100 years ago started this shift through enlightenment and reforms in religion. Now, I also think it's better for nations to not have spirituality inclined people. For nations to not have spiritually inclined people. I also think that is why we also are now leaning towards universe, astrology, language, etc. Especially, I received something, and they asked me, "What is your burj? How do you say?
Your sign, astrology.
Astrological sign?" You depending on depending on birth month. I said, what is it to do with it? I'm not a star worshiper. What are you talking about? So, but everybody says I am in this, whatever you call it. I don't know the language because it's not it is not within my interest at all. So, yeah, that's correct. Astrology. Now, our spirits are still looking for spirituality, yes. Better is used sarcastically. It keeps us away from reform. It keeps us away from reform. I'm not clear about it, Aya. Sorry? I don't get it.
Better for nations.
No, not having spirituality inclined people keeps nation away from reform. Not having, so dictatorship can continue. Yeah, that's like people not having, yeah, correcting it. Capitalism can continue in the way it does. But yes, in our financial side is capitalism. Yes, that's correct. But existential side is materialism, naturalism. That we have to keep our watch, only keep an eye on this materialism, naturalism. Yes?
I was gonna say, because you brought up the Enlightenment, and that's where a lot of these ideas came from.
Originated, yeah.
Yeah, that we can satisfy our spiritual needs without the creator, that
Hmm.
you can do it secularly through your own
Right,
thinking
yeah.
or something like that. And I think that's the worldview of the world today,
Yeah,
right now,
yeah.
is that you don't need a connection with your creator to explain the universe, and you don't need a connection with your creator to find meaning in your existence,
Mm.
purpose. That the human being can do it for himself in his own way.
That's why it is very strongly, heavily encourage people to reach self-satisfaction, be a self-satisfied
By their
person,
own
yeah.
definition.
Self-confidence, yeah. But the Quran declares a really, really very clearly, this one. كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى إن رآه استغنى. Let me translate it. The human beings really go completely lost when they see themselves self-satisfied or self-sufficient.
Mm.
Looks at, I am self-sufficient. I cannot do anything. I say, I am some years old, definitely older than your fathers. I keep cutting my fingers. I couldn't stop it growing. Even my fingernail, it doesn't listen to me. Sometimes I make a joke. Even my wife doesn't listen to me. I cannot. Just a joke, of course. This is not a complaint, definitely. But what we have to understand that we are not really we are not really able to do anything as far as our power to create, to control ourselves. I cannot say that I am self-satisfied. Yeah. Can you stay without food for one day? You go crazy in America if you are hungry for one day. No, it's impossible. Even if you miss your morning coffee, your day goes horrible. That is so much obsessed bodily satisfaction. So, from where we are going very slow. Now, being charitable, we understood what the Quran means, and being mindful of God or taqwa, we understood what Quran means by this, and what followed was saddaqa bil husna. looks like has nothing to do with it. What is that? Who confirms the truth of the ultimate beauty? What does it mean now? No, charitable and people of taqwa. You know, how do you say? There is no word in English for taqwa. God consciousness translation. Yeah, that's right. Everything is right. Mindful of God is right. But really taqwa, but a part of it, a piece of it, not an equal word. Because in the culture, there's no taqwa. So if the culture doesn't have the concept, doesn't have the word for it. It's correct. Yeah. That's why you cannot find the right word for Quranic terminology in a language where the civilization has nothing to do with spirituality. So, who confirms the truth of? It is translated the ultimate beauty, husna. Ismail husna. It means the beautiful name, the same word, but saddaqa bil husna. So we are going to study this word separately. It's very important, extremely important. That's why we have to be careful now. وَصَدَّقَ بِالْحُسْنَى. We are going to study before we end the discussion today the shift from the first the first verse on the screen you see, and shifting to confirms the truth of absolute beauty. Husna. What is it to do with it? Yeah.
Well, what it makes me think is that, like embodying, confirming the truth of ultimate beauty is acknowledging that we are not created by a self-serving God. God didn't create us just for fun or for, God is very generous, and he created us to find fulfillment and embody a beautiful humanity from stewardship for other people. And so confirming the truth of ultimate beauty and Allah's attributes is embodying that generosity and sharing the message that ultimately helps people to actualize.
One side of it is what you said, but this beauty is, as it is understood from beauty from God's names, so that when God's name manifests in the universe, everything is beautiful. It is created, everything is beautiful. Are we now? The Quranic words are, we studied Fatiha, the first section of the Quran. We understood that every verse is related to the word before and the word after the word. We studied in detail. We demonstrated it for how many classes? This connection. So taqwa is related to confirmation, tasdiq, confirmation. And confirmation is related to what are we supposed to confirm? Beauty. The most beautiful thing. What is the most beautiful thing? Do you think the rose flower? Or the most beautiful thing in the creation where God's most beautiful names are manifested? Are we, our spirit has the quality, or is given the quality to appreciate God's manifested beautiful names, so that we have to acknowledge the beautiful names, beautiful qualities manifested in the creation. For example, let's change our notion of beauty. Do you think frogs are beautiful? Do you think spiders are beautiful? Now, if you look at their creation, they are created perfectly. You cannot do what a spider does. You cannot do what a spider does. How clever it is. You cannot do what a mosquito does. Perfect mission. So in its creation, you can clearly see that the one who created it must be the most powerful, most wise one. And creates, when you look at the design of a mosquito, what is that? He said, who designed it? Look at the design of a bird. But I have, not here, inshallah, later on, we will study about much later. So you cannot really be as clever as animals in some sort. I mean, in a narrow area. For example, we cannot smell as dogs smell. We cannot be as alarmed and alerted as a cat is. Do this, like this. A cat immediately understood. For example, so we have to understand that in the creation, we should understand the beauty in terms of in their creation, the way of their creation is so perfect, so beautiful. That is what we have to look for. That is taqwa. Why? Reducing this beauty to meaninglessness is waste. And wasting your spiritual quality to acknowledge it, and wasting the beautiful creation out there. That is, if we are careful about it, that is the essence of taqwa. Not to waste it. If you are given a very precious gift, you are so careful, not to lose it, not to break it, for example, not to damage it. Taqwa. The most precious gift from our Creator is our spirit. Most precious gift in the creation of the world, the way they are created manifests the qualities of their Creator. Connect them. That is taqwa and sadaqah. Being very careful not to be wasteful of the precious trust in you, and sadaqah, confirming by using this tool, spirit, our quality, intellect, intelligence, our consciousness, our feelings, and appreciating the quality in the creation of everything, manifesting and declaring the qualities of their Creator. Your spirit also declares that I am created by an absolute being, infinite being, but all my needs are looking for infinite satisfaction. And in the creation, what we see, infinite qualities of the Creator. Connect them now. That is taqwa wa sadaqah. You cannot imagine how beautiful the words are, like pearls. How do you say, put in chain in a string next to each other. That is Qur'an. So sadaqah, what? Husna, the most beautiful. What is the most beautiful? Nightingale? Yes, but stars? Yes, but the way they are created manifests the qualities of their creator. This is the most beautiful one. That is why Quran doesn't say, these are my names. No. All most beautiful, perfect qualities manifested in the universe, the names. You name it. This is beauty, that is design, that is measuring. This is wisdom. Now, that's why the names of God you are talking about, the creator. Wisdom means the matter cannot be wise by itself. So the way they are created is full of wisdom. What? Perfect wisdom. And everything is created at the same time with the same wisdom. So this wisdom is infinite. Perfect. So you are given the tools. Why don't you use it? So connected, taqwa, saddaqa, but confirmation or confirming for what? The most beautiful qualities within you, by attaching it, using it for the purpose it is created, to appreciate the most beautiful qualities manifested in the creation. Don't lose yourself. Don't waste yourself. Don't waste the word which is presented to you. Incredible connection. That's how we should read the Quran. It is amazing. We go into details. It is amazing the way the Quran's language is structured. So benefiting from it is important. Knowing the grammar discussion, grammar rules and rhetorical qualities are unbelievable. Rhetorical qualities in the Quran is unbelievable. So that's why some people are crazy. They devote their life only one side of the rhetoric of the Quran. Whole life. Wrote 30 volumes of commentary on it. Crazy. Nowadays, not 30 volume, not 30 page. If you just present a video longer than 3 minutes, they don't watch it. That's what we lost our passion. Unfortunately, this is the age of losing humanity. We have to stop here. There is another event. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. بحرمة سورة الفاتحة